Welcome back to Times of Old. Today, we break down the real reasons behind Iran's recent attacks on Middle Eastern countries and, crucially, how this conflict connects to the Philippines, from OFWs to oil prices. Let's dive in. Why is Iran attacking? Iran's attacks are not random invasions, they are part of a broader conflict triggered by attacks on Iran itself. Recently, the United States and Israel launched airstrikes against Iran, hitting military and strategic targets. This escalated tensions sharply. In response, Iran launched missiles and drones at countries hosting United States forces, including the UAE, Bahrain, and possibly others, saying these bases were part of the military campaign against Iran. In other words, Iran views any nation that hosts United States military forces as legitimate targets for retaliation. Not because they hate those nations, but because Iran sees the United States attacks as an existential threat. This is why strikes aren't just on Israel, they're spread across the Gulf. Long-standing tension between Iran and other regional powers, especially Israel and the United States, stems from ideological, nuclear, and geopolitical conflicts that have simmered for decades. Iran has backed proxy groups across the region, like Hezbollah in Lebanon and Houthis in Yemen, which has worsened trust. The nuclear issue also fuels suspicion. Western powers have repeatedly demanded limits on Iran's nuclear program, causing sanctions and military pressure. This cycle of sanctions pressure retaliation has shaped Iran's foreign policy for years. While today's escalation is immediate, it's rooted in these deeper struggles. So, how does this affect the Philippines? Even though we're pretty far away, geographically speaking, the Philippines definitely feels the impact. First up, the safety of overseas Filipino workers, or OFWs. There are actually millions of Filipinos living and working all over the Middle East. Places like the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, and even Israel and Iran. With the conflict escalating, the Philippine government has started issuing safety advisories for OFWs and is closely monitoring their welfare. Some Filipinos have even been stranded because of airspace closures and flight cancellations. Second, let's talk about the economic impact, especially when it comes to oil and prices. The Philippines imports nearly all of its crude oil from Middle Eastern suppliers, so any conflict near the Strait of Hormuz, which is honestly one of the world's most important oil routes, can cause oil price spikes. That means higher gasoline, diesel, and transport costs back home. Third, there's the issue of remittances and jobs. If Middle East host nations decide to cut back on foreign hiring, or if OFWs choose to come home for safety reasons, remittance flows could drop. That would really affect households and the economy. This isn't just a local conflict, it really affects global dynamics. Oil and LNG supply disruptions from Gulf states could ripple through global markets. Rising prices affect inflation worldwide, and that definitely includes the Philippines. Airlines have halted flights over the region, which complicates international travel for everyone. So, in short, Iran's attacks are retaliatory. They're responding to what they see as aggression from the US and its allies. The conflict affects countries hosting foreign forces, not just Iran or Israel. The Philippines is connected to all this through OFW safety, oil prices, and remittances. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more explainers. And hey, comment below. Do you think this conflict will spread further? Let's discuss.